people that have ran from addiction, ran from abuse, ran from mental health issues. Me being a combat veteran of Afghanistan and Iraq, I run a lot to clear my mind. Because they told us that we had to come back with post-traumatic stress. And I challenged them and said, why can't we have post-traumatic growth? It's about moving forward, about doing better so we can be better. That's what ultra running is all about. And we talked about last night how I always say this one the line, forward is the pace. Doesn't matter how far you're going, how fast you're going, as long as you're moving forward. And that's what ultra running is. And another thing I really love about ultra running is that you walk, right? it's good time. Because when you go running like that, people, you walking, what you walking for, man? Let's go. Ultra running, it's like if you can't see the top of the hill, just walk. I'm like, well, I can't see none of the tops of the hill, so I'm just gonna walk all that, right? And you get to eat crazy stuff at the aid stations. That's how it brought me to when Terry came to me and said he wanted me to talk about climate change, diversity. I was like, bro, that's some deep stuff, man. This ain't ultra running for me. This is like a wellness retreat, it sounds like. But for some of us, like this generation, he's so excited. From Indiana, my daughter lives in Plainsfield. So, we've been Westerners. But I say all this to kind of start my story is, listen to how awesome ultra running is. If I took it away from you, where would you be and who would you be? I grew up in the inner city of Kansas City, Missouri, a little bit in East St. Louis, the area, and we lived in a ghetto. We had nothing, Section 8 housing, and for a portion of that, we actually grew up on the streets. I was homeless, lived in shelters with my mother, my brother, and my sister that was in her belly, eating out of trash cans, doing all those homeless people things, right? And I used to run away a lot. And I used to think I was going to run from my family, but as I got older, I realized that I was just wanting to run. I just wanted to go out on an adventure. I just wanted to clear my mind of everything that I had ever been through and that I was going through. That's what runners always tell you about, that peace that you get when you're running. Even though the pain sometimes is unbearable, for some reason you still get peace. I don't know how you do this. Like saying I had a great time at the dentist. It doesn't really mix, right? And so as I got older, I would run away a whole lot. And I noticed that there's always patterns in what we do. And every time I was going through something at school, I got in trouble. I didn't know my dad until I was 13. I would just run. And like, I would just keep running because guess what? As a 10-year-old, 13-year-old kid, you can't say, Mom, I'm gonna go on a 20-mile run and I'll be back. And so I would just run away. But to me, running I wasn't running away from something, I was going on an adventure. That's something that brought love and compassion to like what in that moment seems like hell on earth. The struggles that I was going through, the schools, things that were happening to me, not knowing my father, all went away because all I saw was new sights. Just like when we run today, everybody said we're gonna get out and run today. Why? Because there is a portion of you, and I guarantee most of you, probably 99% of you in this room, when you're driving, you see a mountain or a trail, you wonder, I wonder what's next. Right? That's how you know that we are connected. We think of the same mind, the same heartbeat, we beat on the same drum. But when I did that, it made me feel good. When I might have cried or went somewhere or found a new way, and I think to this day, I love adventure. But I think about, what if I didn't have that? What if you took all that away from me? Who would I be? I'm not sure I would be here today. I'm not sure when I came back from Afghanistan and I stayed at home for the first 2 months that I couldn't really grasp continuing. Because one thing with people, and some people that do run, but most people that don't run, they don't appreciate what we have. We don't take care of what we have. It's a moment in time right now that we have a responsibility to the next generation. Embrace the directors and trail runners and people that will come after us to take care of the lands that we're on. Because when we lose that, we lose money. When we're not taking care of the land, then we create greenhouse gases and all kinds of, I think it was the Mississippi River is like losing water. I was watching on the news when we were raining this morning. I was like, what's the coincidence of that? All these things that we're doing to the one place that lets us be free. We as race directors, as trail runners, we have a responsibility not only to ourselves, but to the next generation, but to those to the left and right of us. Because as we race and we have fun, we have a great time, we have to preserve the lands that we are participating in these events on. Because when you take that away, it gets hotter. If it gets hotter, guess what? This is one, I was looking up like climate change and racing and all these different things, and there was some concepts that stood out to me. As we don't take care of the land, and we produce more junk and crap, right? Then we create greenhouse gases. From there, it gets hotter outside. Well, think about this. If you notice, there's been a shift of races to like the spring and fall. We had more races in the summer, right? And I'm like, oh, that's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal because this is a business in here as well, right? And so when I put my race next to your race, well, somebody ain't coming to your race. Somebody ain't coming to your race, right? And who had I know we talk about business in here at some point, whoever has the best marketing and branding and the best sponsors may get more participation. Now we're competing against the very people we say we love. It's like taking from your sister and your brother and your mother and say, you know what I'm doing is more important than what you're doing. Because we're not taking care of the earth that we're on. And so the heat has made us push everything together, and then we wonder why races are fought off, because we can't sustain one population. That's why even when we do franchising, guess what? They make sure that you're a certain distance apart, certain time of year. All the race directors look at that. And you say, what time of year am I doing my race? Who's doing something else next to me? Is there an event in the city? Is there a festival or something like that? Because you understand that you will be competing for the same crowd. Then you don't make money. Then you get rid of your race. Now you go home depressed and treat your family different because you're not doing what you love. Now you take the opportunities of kids that say, I want to run professionally, I want to run for a living, I want to run in high school. All those opportunities for them to run goes away. We're looking at marginalized communities. What do we have? We have running. I've been running since the far as I can remember. Ran track, ran cross country, did football games, and ran track practice. You don't have to, all we needed was shoes and a place to go fast. And in some cases, we didn't even wear shoes. I remember because I was a track, I did 400 and the 200 and 100, but I was really good at the 400 because I could summer. I was okay with summer. And I look back at it, it wasn't even high school. I started, we used to take our shoes off on a block, the concrete, and we used to run around the block. And I remember that last corner being the first one in Stratford, same thing. But it prepared me for other things in life. That resilience, that grit, that determination, that resolve came from running. Because we do hard things. And for me, the reason I stand in front of you as the first Black man to actually give a keynote at this event, or most events that I go to actually, within the endurance realm, somebody has to be the first. But how we treat the world decides how many people go into the sport, decides how many marginalized communities actually participate. You see how that goes full circle? Everything you do in every moment you're in will affect tomorrow. Who you choose to be is decided on what you choose to do, how you choose to live, how you choose to express yourself. This is more than a race, this is a movement. How we change lives is how we perceive the lives that we're changing, how we view other people. Because if you sit back and you stay and you just race direct all the time, and you don't look at the details, how can you grow a sport you say you love? And I'll bring you back to the beginning. I'll bring you back to the beginning. If you look at this, if we took running away, when everybody in this room raised their hand saying running changed their lives, what lives won't you affect? What people won't you save from suicide? Mental health, being accepted. We talk about marginalized communities, we talk about LGBTQ+, hyping. I'm not trying to be funny, I just know it's always something adding on to it. There's so many things that we have to do in effective trail running. You have to be responsible for the responsibilities that you have been given to give joy and happiness and freedom to those that you speak to and see every day. You have the responsibility to work with corporations and organizations that support sustainability, not only with the earth, but within self. Because we can sustain everything around us, but if we're not working on what needs to be sustained first, we will bring no value to the earth. Taking the right precautions and the right education within your events and teaching people about conservation, diversity and inclusion, and all these other things that we have a platform to share with somebody else. You can change your life if you choose to do it. You were all meant to be here in this moment, regardless if you think it happened on a whim or by luck. Your fate was already determined when you decided to take your first step on your first run. The rest is history. Continue to make history. Continue to be the history that changes the world.